This is the Queensland edition of Nine's Afternoon News with Eva Milic.
Good afternoon. A North Queensland man is being hailed a hero after rescuing children from a burning home this morning. Live now to Joel Dry, who is at the scene. Joel, it must have been a really terrifying experience.
Absolutely, Eva. A harrowing experience for Anna Smith, who for a moment must have thought that she was going to lose two of her children. It all began when fire broke out in her property here in Beaconsfield in Mackay.
The report predicts Australia could rival Qatar as the world's biggest LNG exporter in the next 3 years. Gary joins us now with a check of the weather, and it was a little wet on the coast today.
Yeah, especially on the Gold Coast, where we've seen the heaviest falls again in the past 24 hours. Certainly didn't deter board riders. It's been a little bit sloppy around the beaches today in northeasterly winds, but there's been some fun waves to be had. 2 foot, couple of 3 foot sets pushing through on the points, with the winds expected to switch more around to the west tomorrow and into the weekend. That will really clean up our beaches. A little bit of stormwater runoff as well, and the water temperature is down to 20 degrees. So some small fun waves around the coast, some much better beach weather on the way for the weekend. I'll have those details coming up next hour, Eva.
OK, looking forward to that. Thank you, Gary. From the assassination of JFK and 9/11 to the hover bike and a two-faced cat, it's all been caught on news cameras somewhere around the world. Now, the Associated Press is releasing 500,000 clips on YouTube, the biggest ever upload of historical video, and it's giving the public a chance to look back at some of the most iconic moments in time. Just ahead in Nine's Afternoon News, court for the Brisbane teacher accused of possessing thousands of child exploitation images. Horror crash, high speed and no seatbelts make for a deadly combination. And the axe to fall, staff at ABC stores facing an uncertain future as the retailer focuses on online sales. First on 9 News, a hero neighbour risks his life to rescue 2 children trapped in a burning house. 70,000 Australians urged to check if their washing machine is a ticking time bomb. Caught on camera the moment a driver took on a drawbridge and lost. And what's the big good news story emerging from the Broncos? 9 News at 6. A primary school teacher from Brisbane's north side who's accused of possessing more than 7,000 child exploitation images and videos has faced court. Sean Power was there and has the details. Up to 300 ABC workers are set to lose their jobs after the broadcaster announced it's closing the doors on its bricks and mortar shops. More than 50 stores will shut in the coming months, with the company already starting to end leases with landlords. The ABC says it's no longer possible to sustain a large network of leased stores and is moving to online retail operations. A renewed warning today for up to 70,000 Australians who have a potential fire hazard in their home. Fair Trading is now recalling 6 popular Samsung washing machines that are at risk of exploding. The brand says there's a chance water can enter the electrical wiring and is offering to fix the machines. So far, more than 200 of the dodgy washers have caught fire or exploded. Up next, charges for the fake nurse who allegedly treated patients in the state's far north. A whale rescue off the Gold Coast ends in tragedy. Plus the fire that could be seen from space. Incredible pictures of a major New York City blaze. Welcome back to the Queensland edition of Nine's Afternoon News. These are our top stories. A young Mackay family is lucky to be alive after a fierce fire broke out in the home this morning. 2 children trapped in a back room were pulled to safety by a hero neighbour. A frustrated Grantham resident has launched a furious tirade during day 4 of the inquiry into the deadly floods. He wants the quarry's former owner to admit he's partly to blame. And a man accused of being a dodgy fake nurse is facing more than 100 charges after allegedly treating patients in North Queensland for 6 weeks. We have some breaking news from Bali now. Townsville man Nicholas Langan has been sentenced to 1 year in jail for smoking a joint on the holiday island. The prosecution had been asking for 4 years behind bars. Joe Hockey's admitted he's paid a price over his pursuit of Fairfax Media in a defamation case, but has declared he had to stand up against the bullies. The defiant treasurer says the legal battle will end up costing the company about $1.5 million.
Thanks very much. Someone has to stand up to the bullies, and I chose to do that. And even though I paid a price, if I was a shareholder of Fairfax Media writing out a cheque for $1.5 million and carrying the burden of an editor-in-chief that has acted maliciously against the Treasurer of Australia, I wouldn't consider that a win at all.
Despite his outlook, a law expert says the case has been a disaster for Mr Hockey. A 30-year-old man is facing more than 100 charges, accused of posing as a nurse and treating patients for 6 weeks in a far north Queensland hospital. Michael Best joins us now. Michael, what are the charges he's facing?
This fire is about the smoke more than anything else. The chemicals associated with this type of fire, which is a plastic fire, are largely volatilizing up and mostly out of harm's way.
Still to come, Alzheimer's breakthrough, the drug that could slow down the progression of the disease. Hit the brakes, an out-of-control tram goes hurtling toward traffic. And emergency on the high seas as a cruise ship catches fire. There's hope on the horizon for Alzheimer's sufferers and their families. A new pill to treat the disease is proving 4 times more effective in improving brain function than current treatments. And the world-leading research is being carried out right here in Australia.
Alzheimer's is a cruel disease that impairs cognitive function, but now a new pill is proving to be a potential brain booster.
As crews quickly put out the fire, Royal Caribbean tweeting all guests and crew members are safe and accounted for, and one crew member was treated for a first-degree burn.
Just ahead in 9's afternoon news, a warm homecoming for 100 Queensland soldiers. Plus, a driver makes a desperate launch across an opening bridge. And from dog's death row to a loving home, how one photo of canines cuddling saved their lives. First on 9 News, a hero neighbour risks his life to rescue 2 children trapped in a burning house. 70,000 Australians urged to check if their washing machine is a ticking time bomb. Caught on camera the moment a driver took on a drawbridge and lost. And what's the big good news story emerging from the Broncos? 9 News at 6. 100 soldiers have received a warm welcome home to Queensland after a deployment in Afghanistan. As Rosanna Kingston reports, it was a chance for some newborns to meet their fathers for the first time.
It's a great day for dozens of defence families here in Townsville today after a group of soldiers were welcomed home from deployment to Afghanistan.
Till a permanent family can be found for Kayla and Kira.
And that's where we'll leave our Gold Coast viewers. Your next bulletin is at 5:30, right after Millionaire Hot Seat.